Good evening, and welcome to the 2022 Novi Police and Fire Departments Awards Ceremony. I am Eric Zinzer, and I have the honor of serving the entire Novi community as the Director of Public Safety and Chief of Police. Unfortunately, we are still seeing the effects of the global pandemic. With the new variant and cases starting to tick up again, we made the difficult decision to present the awards ceremony virtually again this year. Tonight, we will recognize several outstanding individuals who have performed excellent service in our community. We will recognize bravery, teamwork, and life-saving heroism. We will recognize your Officer of the Year, your Firefighter of the Year, and your Civilian and Volunteer of the Year. We come together as one with the common values of honesty, integrity, professionalism, honor, service, and duty. These are our core values. Our video production team is live streaming this event via Facebook Live, cityofnovi.org, AT&T Uverse, and Charter Spectrum. Please enjoy the ceremony.
Good evening. Letter of Commendation, Cadet Yahaira Lopez. On Monday, February 7th, 2022, the Michigan State Police Biometric and Identification Division notified our agency that they were able to identify a suspect as a result of the high-quality finger and palm prints taken by Cadet Lopez. On August 22, 2021, Cadet Lopez was booking a prisoner who was arrested for operating while intoxicated in Novi's jurisdiction. Those prints taken by Cadet Lopez were entered into the automated fingerprint identification system, where they are compared to other national submissions. This is a critical part for law enforcement to help identify suspects in other major crimes around the country. Due to her attention to detail and quality of work, Cadet Lopez was able to assist with the possible identification of a homicide suspect from another jurisdiction. Cadet Lopez is being recognized with a letter of commendation. Unit citation. Detective Kyle Smith, Officer Christopher Clark, Officer Joseph Matthews, Officer Andrew Toth, Officer Caitlin Courtney, Officer Andrew Hudicek. On May 27, 2021, Detective Smith, Officer Matthews, Officer Courtney, Officer Clark, Officer Toth, and Officer Hudicek responded to a domestic felonious assault that involved a suspect firing multiple gunshots inside of a residence in the 30,000 block of Montmorency. Officer Matthews, Officer Courtney, Officer Toth, and Sergeant Elson established a perimeter around the home. Sergeant Jenkinson, Detective Smith, Officer Clark, and Officer Hudicek checked the area for the suspect and spoke with the victim. It was learned that after the initial gunshots were fired, the suspect exited the home to confront the victim in the street. However, it was unknown if the suspect had returned to the inside of the residence or if he was at large. After nearly 2 hours, the suspect was negotiated out of the residence, where he was safely taken into custody. Inside of the home, officers located what appeared to be grenades and rocket-propelled grenades. The Michigan State Police Bomb Squad was contacted and responded to the scene. An X-ray of the devices showed that they were inert. The suspect was ultimately charged with 1 count of felony assault, dangerous weapon, and 1 count of domestic assault. Due to the quick response, thorough investigation, and decision-making of all those involved, this dangerous situation was safely resolved. For their efforts, these officers are awarded with a unit citation. Letter of Commendation, Detective Sean Penza. Detective Sean Penza investigated multiple LFA complaints in which personal property and credit cards were stolen throughout Novi. Some of those credit cards were used in neighboring communities in which a possible suspect living off Arizona Drive in our city was identified. Detective Penza was able to draft and secure a search warrant for the residence, while also having the suspect on 24-hour surveillance, where they conducted another larceny from automobile in the South Lyon jurisdiction. The search warrant drafted by Detective Penza was executed, in which evidence was recovered relating to 5 current Novi cases, with an additional Novi victim being identified, along with other evidence linking the suspect to crimes in Northville Township. For his relentless follow-up on numerous criminal cases, Detective Sean Penza is being awarded a letter of commendation. Civilian Award, Sami Mahar Shihada. On May 23, 2021, at approximately 1:28 a.m., Sami Shihada observed a black Jeep that had crashed into a traffic signal pole along Novi Road near Main Street. The injured driver was seated in the driver's seat while the badly damaged Jeep was starting to smoke. Sami Shihada moved quickly to remove the driver from the vehicle. A short time later, the Jeep became engulfed in flames. If Sami Shihada had not pulled the driver from the vehicle before the fire started, the driver would most likely have been overcome by the fire. It was later learned the driver had a broken pelvis requiring emergency surgery, resulting in him being unable to move. Due to the life-saving efforts provided by Sami Shihada, he will be recognized with the Civilian Award. Civilian Award: Marvin Petrus, Kalen Gasso. Novi Fire and Police personnel were dispatched to the community pool of Liberty Park, located at 28300 Declaration, for a report of a drowning of a young boy. It was learned that two brothers, ages 5 and 7, were playing in the pool when the 5-year-old boy took in water and became unconscious. Marvin Petros was at the pool with his family and noticed the young boy motionless and floating in the pool. Marvin yelled for help, and with the boy's mother began to remove him from the water. Kalen Gasso, an off-duty ER nurse from Beaumont Royal Oak, heard Marvin yelling and responded to assist. Kalen did a quick assessment of the boy and immediately started CPR and was able to revive him prior to the arrival of responding units. It was very clear that if not for the quick response from Marvin Petros and Kalen Gasso, this young boy would not be with us today. Marvin Petros and Kalen Gasso will be receiving a civilian award.
Good evening. Merit citation. Novi Police Officer Tim Ferrell. It's our nature to help whenever we are needed. Novi Police Officer Tim Ferrell did just that. The Novi Fire Department was responding to a structure fire in an apartment, and Officer Ferrell was close by and responded to assist the fire department. He was quickly on scene and realized that the fire was at the front door of the apartment. Officer Ferrell, without hesitation, grabbed a portable fire extinguisher located in his patrol vehicle and began knocking down the flames. This quick thinking prevented the fire from entering the apartment where the family was sleeping. Please join me in recognizing Officer Tim Ferrell with a merit citation. Unit citation: Captain Todd Sogg, Fire Protection Officer Adam Schwartz, Fire Protection Officer Steve Behan, Fire Protection Officer Patrick Deneau. Civilian citation: Kare Shian, Rob Elliott, John Collins, and Tyler Roberts. Sometimes what we are originally dispatched for may not always be the same as when we arrive on scene. The Novi Fire Department responded to the report of a multiple vehicle accident on eastbound 96 on March 1st, 2021. Upon Engine 1, Squad 1, Engine 4, and 519's arrival, crews were faced with multiple large vehicles as well as a horse trailer involved in a high-speed accident. From the impact of the vehicles, the driver of the horse trailer was pinned by the damage to her vehicle as well as the interior dashboard. Suffering from multiple severe injuries, the intrusion to the interior of the vehicle passenger compartment, the patient was trapped. With the number of vehicles involved in the accident and the complexity of the situation, these members knew that they needed to work quickly to solve a complex problem. Together, all these members worked to extricate the woman and her dog. Although the task at hand was slow and arduous, the patient was conscious and talking the entire time. One asset available to our crews were the tow trucks that arrived on scene. After methodically prying, cutting, and lifting the damaged metal, they were able to free the patient from the confines of the vehicle. Due to the severe injuries the patient sustained during the accident, she was rapidly transported to Ascension Providence Hospital for further care and subsequent surgeries. Please join me in recognizing each of these members with a unit citation. Life-Saving Award: Fire Protection Officer Tim Porter, Fire Protection Officer Steve Behan. Civilian citation: Superior Ambulance Paramedic Eric Hepner, Superior Ambulance Paramedic Matthew Sefcovic. Every year, over 475,000 people die from cardiac arrest in the United States alone, making heart disease the #1 cause of death. On January 1st, 2021, Engine 4 arrived to find a male standing out in the cold weather on his driveway complaining of chest pain. Superior Ambulance paramedics arrived just behind Engine 4, quickly placed the patient on the stretcher, loaded him into their ambulance, getting him out of the cold January air. Once inside the ambulance, the patient stated that he was feeling better and informed the crews that he gets chest pain whenever he works out. The ambulance crew cleared Engine 4 to return in service since the patient stated that he no longer wanted to go to the hospital. Engine 4's crew began to pull out of the subdivision and was advised over the radio by superior paramedics that the patient was unconscious and now in cardiac arrest. Engine 4 quickly responded back to the scene to find Superior's crew performing cardiopulmonary resuscitation, or CPR, on the patient, who was talking just minutes ago. Life-saving initiatives were being performed, and a shock through the defibrillator was provided. Suddenly, the patient regained a faint pulse and began to breathe on his own. The patient was rapidly transported to Ascension Providence Hospital. Due to the actions of these members, the patient was talking and breathing on his own later the same day. Please join me in recognizing each of these members with the Life-Saving Award. Life-Saving Award: Captain Remo Oliverio, Firefighter George Paterni, Firefighter Jose Villanueva. Civilian Citation: Superior Ambulance Paramedic Kimberly Fujiwara, Superior Ambulance Emergency Medical Technician Matthew Madigan, Kenneth Meyer, Jr. On the evening of July 5th, 2021, the Novi Fire Department was alerted to the call of a male who had passed out in his garage. The son of the patient, Kenneth Meyer, Jr., recognized that his father was in cardiac arrest and jumped into action, a difficult task performing CPR on your own family member. Kenneth quickly assessed his father and began performing CPR. These actions provided essential to the patient's outcome. As crews arrived, they found a male lying on the ground in the garage with chest compressions being performed on him. Crews immediately took over for the patient's son. There was some confusion as to what had occurred, but right now the patient's heart was not functioning. After numerous cycles of compressions, cardiac medications, and 7 shocks by the defibrillator, the patient began to breathe. The patient was immediately placed on the stretcher, loaded into the ambulance, and transported to Ascension Providence Hospital. The patient made a full recovery. These members were also recognized by the Oakland County EMS Medical Control Authority for excellence in providing exceptional patient care. Please join me in recognizing each of these members with the Life-Saving Award.
Good evening. Unit Citation: Officer Andrew Toth, Officer Caitlin Courtney, Officer Joshua Johnson, Officer Jacob Roberts, Sergeant Adam Elson. On April 1st, 2021, Officer Toth, Officer Courtney, Officer Johnson, Officer Roberts, and Sergeant Elson responded to a residence in the 2400 block of Devonshire for a home invasion in progress. It was reported that the homeowner, not on scene, had remote camera footage of someone using a key to enter his home. Officer Courtney and Officer Toth established a perimeter around the home, while Officer Johnson, Officer Roberts, and Sergeant Elson made entry to clear the interior. As the main level was being cleared by Officer Roberts and Sergeant Elson, Officer Johnson remained at the stairway leading to the second level to provide cover over the yet uncleared upper level. A suspect then appeared on the second level and began walking down the stairs with his hands in his pockets. Officer Johnson directed his patrol rifle at the suspect and began giving him commands. The suspect obeyed Officer Johnson's orders and was safely taken into custody. It was later learned that the suspect was the brother-in-law of the homeowner, but did not have permission to be in the home. He had previously taken a key for the home from another resident and had used that to gain entry. The suspect was ultimately charged with entering without permission. This potentially dangerous situation was safely handled due to the tactical awareness and timely decision-making of all involved officers. For their great work in bringing this dangerous situation to a successful end, these officers are awarded a unit citation. Unit citation: Officer Jacob Roberts, Officer Andrew Toth, Officer Caitlin Courtney, Detective Eric Lindblade, Sergeant Brian Walowski. On Sunday, October 24th, 2021, officers responded to the Kroger store at Grand River and Beck Road regarding an attempted abduction of an 11-year-old girl. Information was that a male suspect was trying to take a girl from another patron in the store. A description of the suspect was obtained by dispatchers, which was relayed to responding officers. Within minutes, Officer Roberts arrived on scene and was immediately able to locate and detain the suspect. Officer Toth, Officer Courtney, and Sergeant Walowski arrived on scene and began assisting with the investigation. As the suspect was being escorted to a patrol vehicle, he lunged at another juvenile female attempting to grab her. The suspect was safely secured and detained in a patrol vehicle. A thorough investigation was completed at the scene, which ultimately resulted in the arrest of the suspect. Detective Lindblade obtained warrants for the suspect of assault with attempt to commit sexual penetration and attempt kidnapping. The suspect was arraigned on these charges and he received a $1 million bond. The coordinated efforts of all involved resulted in the quick apprehension of this dangerous individual, with the appropriate charges being filed. For their hard work and concerted team effort in apprehending a dangerous predator, these officers are awarded with a unit citation. Letter of Commendation, Officer Andrew Toth. On May 23, 2021, officers responded to an address on Chipmunk Trail after the caller reported her ex-husband had kicked in her door. The ex-husband began to fight with a guest inside the residence, resulting in the call for help. Upon arrival, Officer Toth observed the ex-husband near the front of the residence, where he started to retreat back inside upon viewing the officer. Officer Toth immediately started running toward the suspect and was able to gain control of him before he could re-enter the residence. Officer Toth's quick response prevented the situation from escalating further and kept the victims inside the residence safe from further assault. Officer Toth is being recognized for his quick action to de-escalate a situation and will be awarded a letter of commendation. Unit citation: Officer Stephen Finlayson, Officer Eric Toby, Officer Sarah Molick, Officer Deanna Stevenson, Officer John Corder, Officer Baha Al-Mufti, Detective Eric Lindblade. On July 10, 2021, officers were dispatched to the Portsmouth apartments regarding a larceny in progress. The caller reported 3 suspects were loading air conditioning units into a U-Haul truck. Upon arrival, Officer Al-Mufti located the U-Haul with several air conditioning units inside, along with one occupant inside the vehicle who was taken into custody. Officers began to check the area on foot for the other 3 suspects who were still in the area stealing air conditioning units. Officers located 3 suspects who, once they observed the officers approaching, began to run away. One suspect stopped after a short foot chase and was taken into custody. One suspect was located by Officer Toby hiding under a vehicle in a nearby parking lot. The 4th suspect was located several miles away by Officer Molick. Officer Finlayson assisted with the evidence gathering and witness statements. Officer Corder and Stevenson assisted with interviews and witness statements. Detective Lindblade processed the scene for evidence and conducted follow-up investigation. Ultimately, 13 air conditioning units were removed and placed into the U-Haul, and additional units were damaged in preparation to be removed by the suspects. All of the units were returned to the Portsmouth apartment complex. For their great team effort, from the response of the officers, the timely information sharing, and in-depth investigation that led to the arrest of 4 thieves and the return of tens of thousands of dollars worth of equipment, you are all awarded a unit citation. Unit citation: Officer Haley Penzak, Officer Michael Daisley, Officer Andrew Hudicek. On January 4, 2021, Officer Haley Penzak conducted a traffic stop on an SUV pulling a trailer. The SUV was observed leaving a business area where all the businesses were closed. While questioning the occupants of the vehicle, Officer Penzak noted inconsistencies with their statements. Officer Daisley and Officer Hudicek arrived and assisted with the investigation. After searching the area, officers located a business which had an empty space where a trailer appeared to have been recently moved. Officers contacted the owner of the business, who advised the trailer was his and he did not know the occupants. Through proactive traffic enforcement and detailed coordination, 2 suspects were arrested, charged, and found guilty of larceny. The property was returned to its rightful owner, and you are all awarded a unit citation. Unit citation: Officer Eric Toby, Officer Alex Marcioni, Officer Eric Rockwell, Officer Stacy Simon, Officer Stephen Finlayson, Officer Trevor Lassus. On November 27, 2021, Officers Toby and Rockwell were patrolling the area of the Springs apartment complex. Officer Toby observed a 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk with a stolen plate attached. The officers attempted to stop the vehicle, which immediately fled and refused to stop. The vehicle ultimately lost control and crashed. The 2 occupants fled from the crashed vehicle. Officer Marcioni, Simon, Finlayson, and Lassus all arrived and assisted in searching for the 2 suspects, who were eventually located a short distance from the crashed vehicle. The investigation determined the vehicle was reported stolen. Both suspects were arrested and charged by the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office and are awaiting court proceedings. This was an example of great teamwork by everyone involved in the apprehension of 2 car thieves and the recovery of a $100,000 vehicle. For your exemplary hard work, you are all awarded a unit citation.
Good evening. Life-saving award. Police Officer Samantha Gracow. Civilian citation. Michelle Reed, Matthew Newton. Medical emergencies can happen anywhere and at any moment. On the morning of July 15th, 2021, such a call occurred at the local workout facility. A male patron was working out on some weights, equipment, and suffered a medical emergency. Two bystanders at the facility, Michelle Reed and Matthew Newton, recognized that something was wrong and advised a worker from the facility to immediately call 911. Both Michelle and Matthew lowered the patient to the ground and initiated CPR. No sooner was the employee hanging up the phone when police officer Samantha Gracow arrived on scene and the patient was still unresponsive and not breathing. Officer Gracow quickly attached her AED and one shock administered to the patient. Shortly after, the patient began to take a breath. Novi fire crews and Superior Ambulance arrived and took over patient care. The patient was now breathing on his own, but still not fully awake. The patient was transported to Ascension Providence Hospital for further care. Days following his medical emergency, the patient was released from the hospital. Please join me in recognizing Officer Samantha Gracow and Michelle Reed and Matthew Newton with the Life-Saving Award. Life-Saving Award. Fire Protection Officer Andrew Copeland, Fire Protection Officer Patrick Deneau, Fire Protection Officer Dan Scholke, Fire Protection Officer Paul Boswick. Civilian citation, Superior Ambulance Paramedic Jeffrey George, Superior Ambulance Emergency Medical Technician Tricia Anderson. On the afternoon of July 26, 2021, Station Number 1 personnel were dispatched to a person along Meadowbrook Road having chest pains. Unfortunately, the patient, who was the caller, had no idea of the exact location. You see, the patient was unfamiliar with the area. As both Squad 1 and Tower 1 were responding to the possible area of the caller, dispatch updated units informing them that CPR was in progress. Once on the scene, they found a bystander standing next to the male lying on the ground unresponsive, and unfortunately, CPR was not being performed. Immediately, crews assessed the patient and found he wasn't breathing and had no pulse. CPR was initiated. As crews performed life-saving maneuvers, our advanced life support crew from Superior Ambulance arrived. The patient was quickly loaded into the ambulance as CPR continued. After about 8 minutes had passed, a faint pulse was discovered on the patient. Novi Fire Department assisted with driving the ambulance to ensure continuation of care to the patient while en route to Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital. The patient recovered and was able to be discharged from the hospital 2 weeks later. Please join me in recognizing each of these members with the Life-Saving Award. Life-Saving Award. Lieutenant Peter Bruhan, Firefighter Sean Krabach, Firefighter William Litchinger. Civilian citation, Superior Ambulance Paramedic Jessica Zeller, Superior Ambulance Emergency Medical Technician Jason Botswick. On the evening of August 29, 2021, the Novi Fire Department was dispatched to a report of a medical, no additional information given. Engine 4 crew responded and was directed to an upstairs bedroom. There they found the patient lying on the floor unresponsive. A rapid assessment of the patient was performed, confirming that the patient was not breathing and did not have a pulse. This information was quickly radioed over the air. Engine 4 crew initiated CPR, breathing for the patient and connecting their AED. Shortly after, Superior Ambulance personnel arrived. Immediately, advanced life support procedures were implemented and a shock from the AED was performed. 15 minutes from the time Engine 4 crew arrived on scene, and the patient had regained a pulse and began to breathe on his own. Although a chaotic scene, the patient was moved to the ambulance and transported to Ascension Providence Hospital. It was later discovered the patient had suffered from a pulmonary embolism, causing his heart to stop. The patient was able to make a full recovery. Please join me in recognizing each of these members with a life-saving award. Life-saving award. Lieutenant Jonathan Gerns Hazlitt, Firefighter Troy Rossicott. Civilian citation, Superior Ambulance Paramedic Jordan Blasick. Superior Ambulance Emergency Medical Technician Daniel Peterson. On the morning of October 16, 2021, the Novi Fire Department responded to the report of a medical emergency for a person possibly not breathing. Once Squad 2 arrived on scene, witnessing family members attempting CPR. Novi Fire Department's crew immediately moved the patient from the bed to the floor and properly treated the patient. CPR was resumed, and as well ventilating the patient's airway. Superior ambulance crew arrived on scene. Once Superior cardiac monitor was connected to the patient, a shock was advised to be administered. A total of 2 shocks were administered to the patient, along with cardiac medications. Shortly after, the patient began to move and breathe on his own. The patient was moved to the ambulance and transported to Ascension Providence Hospital for additional care and monitoring. Please join me in recognizing each of these members with the Life-Saving Award. Life-Saving Award. Police Sergeant Rachel Meyer, Police Sergeant Steve Schnell, Police Officer Eric Carlamusta, Captain Todd Sogg, Firefighter Jose Villanueva, Firefighter Mark Prokes. The Novi Fire and Police Department personnel work together to ensure the safety of the public, and this teamwork does not go unrecognized. On the afternoon of October 17, 2021, both the Novi Police and Fire Department were dispatched to the report of a male unconscious and not breathing in the local gymnasium. Novi Police Sergeants Rachel Meyer, Steve Schnell, and Patrol Officer Eric Carlamusto arrived to find the male in cardiac arrest, lying on the gymnasium floor. Officers began performing CPR and attached their AED to the patient. 2 shocks were administered to the patient just prior to the fire department arrival. Novi fire crews began assisting with CPR, ventilations, and other life-sustaining procedures. The patient appeared to be breathing very shallow at first and then almost normal. A strong carotid pulse was discovered and basic life support continued. Superior ambulance arrived. By the time the patient was placed on the stretcher, he was able to talk to rescuers. Still in need of additional care, the patient was transported to Ascension Providence Hospital. Please join me in recognizing each of these members with a life-saving award.
Good evening. Life-Saving Award. Officer Andrew Hudicek, Officer Tim Hartland. On the evening of January 10th, 2021, Officer Hudicek and Officer Hartland responded to an address on Pierre Street to assist a suicidal resident. The resident took 5 Valium pills, was highly intoxicated, and made severe lacerations to her left arm with a kitchen knife. The lacerations were deep enough where they severed part of an artery, and she was bleeding profusely. Officers Hudicek and Hartland worked together to properly apply a tourniquet to stop the bleeding. The resident was then treated by medical personnel and transported to Ascension Providence Park Hospital for treatment and evaluation. The on-site doctor advised without the quick actions of both officers, the resident would not have survived. For their quick action while under pressure, rendering life-saving aid, Officer Hudicek and Officer Hartland will be recognized with a life-saving award. Life-saving award. Elizabeth Briscoe. On Saturday, August 28, 2021, Novi Police and Fire personnel responded to an address off Llewellyn Drive for a toddler who had fallen into a pool. The mother of the toddler advised that the infant was in a flotation device that had flipped, causing the child to take in water. The mother pulled her child from the water and noted she was blue and not breathing. She began to yell for help when her neighbor, Elizabeth Briscoe, ran over and began CPR efforts. Shortly after this, the young infant coughed up water and began to cry. The child was transported to a neighboring hospital and returned home later that day. If it were not for the extraordinary efforts by Elizabeth Briscoe, the outcome that day could have been very different. For providing emergent care under extremely stressful conditions, Elizabeth Briscoe will receive a life-saving award. Merit Citation, Officer Stephen Finlayson. Letter of Commendation, Detective Kyle Smith, Officer Deanna Stevenson. On June 16, 2021, Officer Finlayson, along with Officers Smith and Stevenson, were dispatched to the area of Beck Road and I-96 on a report of a female who appeared to be having a mental health crisis. They located her sitting in her vehicle on the side of the interstate with her flashers on. She was clearly having a mental episode and was observed screaming and honking the car horn. When they tried to remove her from the vehicle, she attempted to run into the interstate with vehicles passing by, putting herself and others in danger. Officer Finlayson reacted quickly and was able to apprehend her before she could harm herself. She was then transported to the hospital for medical treatment. By his quick reaction, Officer Finlayson prevented the subject from harming herself or others, and all three officers did an outstanding job with helping a subject who was in a clear mental health crisis. For his efforts in risking his life to protect others, Officer Finlayson is awarded a merit citation. For their work in assisting in bringing this incident to a successful conclusion, Officer Stevenson and Detective Smith are awarded a letter of commendation. Departmental citation, Officer Adam McGee, Officer Christopher Clerk, Officer Jacob Roberts, Officer Caitlin Courtney, Detective Kyle Smith, Officer Michael Daisley, Officer Joseph Matthews, Officer Andrew Toth, Detective Sean Penzak, Detective John Zabik, Detective Michael Marchetti, Detective Jeff Brown, Sergeant Dan Jenkinson. On July 4th, 2021, at 2 a.m., Officers Roberts and Officer Clark were patrolling the area of 29 Park, located at 41355 Main Street, in recognition of a pattern of problems that have occurred at that location when the bar closes. At that time, a series of gunshots were heard near the entrance, and pedestrians began to run north on Main Street away from that area. Officer Roberts advised dispatch of the gunfire, and he and Officer Clark began to advance towards where the shots were heard. Officer Smith, Officer Daisley, Officer Courtney, Officer McGee, and Sergeant Jenkinson quickly arrived on scene and began to work together to search for the suspects and identify witnesses. At that time, another substantial volley of gunfire occurred on Main Street just west of their location. Officers on scene used sound tactics and again advanced towards the gunfire. This time, a subject was located that had been shot in his right inner thigh and his left shoulder blade. Officer Daisley was able to remove a firearm from the injured subject, render aid, and obtained information on a suspect vehicle, which he relayed to dispatch. That vehicle was later stopped by a Livingston County deputy, and suspects were identified. Officer Toth and Officer Matthews arrived on scene, and officers again worked together to render aid, secure the scene, and initiate an investigation. Detective Penzak responded and began to process the scene along with Detective Zabik. The suspects were eventually located and taken into custody by Detective Brown and his task force team with the FBI. Detective Penzak and Detective Marchetti were then able to interview the suspects and obtain statements from them and their involvement with this crime. As a result of all their efforts, 3 subjects were charged with assault with attempt to murder and felony weapons charges, which they later pled guilty to weapons offenses and careless damage. These officers' and detectives' bravery and ability to make sound decisions as a team in an extremely stressful and dangerous environment is a testament to their character and commitment to the community. They will all be receiving a departmental citation.
Staff and Command Award, Lieutenant Jason Meyer. Each year, Eastern Michigan University holds the Police School of Staff and Command. The school is 1 week per month for 9 months. The school is comprised of police command officers ranging from sergeants to chiefs of police. The school provides upper-level academic instruction including leadership development, planning and decision-making, human resource management, and administration of the police agency. The program has graduated over 2,000 students since its creation in 1985. On October 15, 2021, Lieutenant Jason Meyer graduated from the 37th session of the School of Police Staff and Command, along with 44 law enforcement professionals representing 33 different communities from throughout the state of Michigan. Lieutenant Meyer graduated number 1 in his class and served as class president. Congratulations, Lieutenant Meyer, for earning the Staff and Command Award. Staff and Command Award, Lieutenant Peter Bruyne. Much like the Police School of Staff and Command, each year Eastern Michigan University holds the School of Fire Staff and Command Executive Leadership Program. The school is 1 week per month for 9 months. The program provides upper-level academic instruction, including leadership development, planning and decision-making, human resource management, and administration of the fire department. On October 8, 2021, Lieutenant Peter Bruyne graduated from the 23rd session of the School of Fire Staff and Command, along with 39 professional firefighters representing 37 different communities from throughout the state of Michigan. Congratulations, Lieutenant Bruyne, for earning the Staff and Command Award. Advanced Education Degree, Sergeant Brian Woloski. The Novi Police and Fire Department takes great pride in our team members committing to being lifelong learners. 50% of our command staff has earned an advanced degree, while others are currently pursuing degrees. In 2021, Sergeant Woloski earned his Master's of Technology Studies with an emphasis on Homeland Security from Eastern Michigan University. Congratulations, Sergeant Woloski, for earning the Advanced Degree Award. Volunteer of the Year, Brent Hammond. Brent Hammond and his wife Claudia are members of our Volunteers in Public Safety, or VIPS, program. They have lived in Novi since 1980. Brent and Claudia have raised 2 children in Novi, and they're very proud of their 4 grandchildren. Brent is retired from IBM and has now dedicated most of his time to volunteering. Brent began his volunteer service with the Novi Police Department in November of 2016 as a VIPS volunteer. VIPS volunteers handle many responsibilities, including parking enforcement, home watches, patrolling our parks, and educating the public on safety, crime prevention, and directing residents to the appropriate Novi staff for specific concerns. The integrity of the VIPS program is most dependent on the volunteers. VIPS volunteers, like patrol officers, are the face of the Novi Police Department. VIPS members are out in our community making contact with citizens on a daily basis while patrolling our parks and neighborhoods, doing their part to keep our community safe. It's critical they know how to communicate effectively with our citizens. Their connection with citizens is a reflection of the Novi Police Department's vision statement, Partners with Our Community. Brent is truly a pillar of dedication to the program and an exemplary model of ambition. In 2018, Brent played a significant role in the VIPS program. Brent assisted with creating a training manual for the new volunteers that includes an overview of the program and responsibilities. This manual is a collection of all the training materials needed for the volunteers and serves as a guidance. Brent has assisted with the revisions of the required forms your volunteers utilize daily. He was vital in improving the VIPS scheduling through Sign Up Genius. Brent was nominated in 2018 for Volunteer of the Year for his efforts and dedication. Brent has never slowed down. In 2021, Brent improved the training program by revising the PowerPoint presentation for new trainees. Brent continues to update his supervisors on any new changes with parking enforcement laws and ensures the training manuals reflect the changes. Brent also continues to look for new ways to embrace the concept of building public trust and to strengthen the VIPS program. Brent recently submitted an idea of creating business cards that describes the services our VIPS program offers to the community with hopes of recruiting new members. Brent is no stranger to service. He proudly served in the United States Navy during the Vietnam era from 1969 to 1972. The pandemic impacted our VIPS team with their volunteer time during 2020 and 2021. However, Brent's commitment and dedication to the VIPS program has not only strengthened the program, but has also contributed to its success. In his spare time, he enjoys playing his guitar, family genealogy, and spending time with his grandchildren. Congratulations to volunteer Brent Hammond for being named the 2021 Volunteer of the Year. Civilian of the Year, Records Clerk Jacqueline Wildman. Jackie Wildman began her career with the Novi Police Department on September 8, 2017, as a member of our dispatch team. A year and a half later, she transitioned into the records section where she currently serves. In 2021, our clerks division saw a lot of changes, new leadership, and we lost one clerk. In addition to personnel changes, assignments were restructured to provide more streamlined services and a plan for future succession. Jackie was instrumental in working through these changes. She readily took on the role of learning our new court services position to provide a backup and to take over the position in the future. This involved learning all of the court processes for our local district court, as well as working with the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office. Jackie's calm nature and outgoing personality allowed her to integrate into this position very easily and provide a friendly customer service representative, which reflects the expectations of the department. When the performance analyst position was absorbed into our records clerk, Jackie volunteered to take on some of the duties, which included having her to learn and implement data analysis techniques that were above and beyond her required duties. Jackie requested these duties and completed them without fail. In addition to taking on this new role, she took it upon herself to develop a training plan for our newest records clerk. She worked with other clerks and developed a schedule and training plan and implemented it flawlessly, allowing our new clerk to get up to speed rather quickly. These are but a few of the things that Jackie does each and every day. While that in itself seems like a lot, this award is more emblematic of not what she does, but how she does it. She exemplifies customer service and teamwork. She is a hard worker who routinely volunteers for additional tasks. She is friendly, outgoing, and represents the values of the Novi Police Department each and every day. Her supervisor describes Jackie with words like teamwork, trust, courtesy, cheerfulness, thoroughness, and the golden rule. These values complement our vision statement, partners with our community. She is an example for all employees to follow, and we are lucky to have her on our team. Congratulations, Jackie Wildman, on being named the 2021 Civilian Employee of the Year. Firefighter of the Year, Captain Phil Zminsky. Captain Phil Dieseminsky's career began with the Dearborn Heights and Ecorse fire departments prior to joining our team on November 10, 1997. Captain Dieseminsky began as a fire protection officer when he started with the Novi Fire Department. His talents were recognized early on as a valued and respected team member. With his personal interest in health and wellness, Captain Dieseminsky initiated a practical exercise that mimicked what a firefighter performs while on the fire grounds. Soon after, numerous members began training alongside him. Captain Zminsky has a passion for the martial arts. This helped him to open his own martial arts training studio. Even in his spare time, he enjoys instructing neighborhood children in the martial arts for wellness. On March 7, 2011, Captain Zminsky was promoted to training officer. With his passion for teaching, he wanted to inspire others with the knowledge he gained over the years. Always willing to help and educate whenever he can, Captain Dieseminsky oversees and coordinates all of the CPR, first aid, and fire extinguisher programs for Novi residents, businesses, as well as city staff. Captain Dieseminsky is actively involved with the Oakland County Medical Control Authority and the Oakland County Fire Training Committee, where he has served for many years. Captain Dieseminsky is a published author, authoring 3 articles. In 2015, he wrote his first article for the Fire Engineering magazine titled First Responder Defensive Tactics, Animal Threats. In 2017, he wrote an article titled Reaching Students' Effective Domain of Learning. A short time later, he wrote his third article titled Hostile Situations, First Responder Awareness. Captain Dieseminsky is a lifelong learner. He earned his Bachelor of Science degree and Master's of Business Administration with a concentration in Public Administration from Columbia Southern University and is currently working on his PhD in Business Administration. He also graduated from the Eastern Michigan Fire Staff and Command Executive Leadership Program. Captain Zminsky was tasked with developing a training group comprised of all the Western Oakland Mutual Aid Association fire departments. He has been developing, scheduling, and instructing programs that benefit our surrounding fire departments, some that have automatic mutual aid agreements with Novi. He has been instrumental in obtaining state fireworks funding to bring in outside instructors and programs to provide additional training to our members and surrounding departments. Captain Zminsky is a decorated veteran of the Novi Fire Department. He has received numerous merit and unit citations, along with a letter of commendation and a life-saving award. Captain Dieseminsky has a great support network at home with his wife Gail and their 5 children, Gabriel, Cade, Kaylee, Alexa, and Bailey, and 2 grandchildren, Levitt and Lennox. When you ask fellow co-workers to describe Captain Dieseminsky, you constantly hear passionate, dedicated, enthusiastic, knowledgeable, and professional. He is a true leader in our organization. It is my honor and privilege to recognize Captain Phil Dieseminsky as your 2021 Novi Firefighter of the Year. Lee C. BeGole, Officer of the Year. Officer Sarah Mullock. Officer Sarah Mullock started her law enforcement career in 2004 when she worked at the Williamston Police Department and then the Royal Oak Police Department before she joined our team as a police officer on June 30th, 2004. Since her first day, she has exemplified the true definition of a police officer. Just 3 years into her career, Officer Mullock's commitment to professionalism was recognized when she was named a field training officer. Over the next few years, Officer Mullock became a recognized leader in the field training program. Her commitment to training new police officers has never wavered. Today, she is the most respected field training officer in the cadre. In 2013, her talents were recognized again when she was reassigned to our investigations section as a detective in an undercover surveillance assignment. For 4 years, Officer Mullock proudly carried out her assignment with the professionalism, integrity, and the attention to detail that she is known for. She successfully represented the city of Novi on the multi-jurisdictional team without fail. Upon returning to the uniform operations, she picked up where she left off as a field training officer. Officer Mullock is the lead instructor on our training cadre. She is well respected as a response to resistance instructor. Her supervisors say this about Officer Mullock: she is always willing to take on a new recruit to train them how to become well-rounded police officers. Supervisors say, though sometimes training new officers can be stressful and overwhelming, Sarah comes to work with a positive attitude and positive outlook every day. Officer Mullock does not hesitate to tackle complex situations. Officer Mullock's supervisors often turn to her for training guidance, and she is not shy about recognizing new, innovative ideas and getting away from doing the same old thing. Officer Mullock was one of the first officers selected to be a mentor to our new police officers. She stays in touch with the recruits as they progress through their academy training and beyond. She helps new officers acclimate to their new role as a police officer and how that role affects their personal lives. Officer Mullock is known to say how she loves teaching new recruits how to be police officers. She truly finds it rewarding. Officer Mullock's role as a trainer goes beyond police officers. She takes an active part in training our police cadets. She schedules time with them for crash investigation and prisoner searches. Officer Mullock embodies community policing by maintaining relationships with business owners in her patrol district. Citizens describe Officer Mullock as professional, polite, and helpful. She cares about the citizens of Novi and does her very best every day to help address their concerns. Officer Mullock is a seasoned officer who can be depended on by her supervisors and team members. Officer Mullock's supervisors describe her as honest, knowledgeable, and innovative when it comes to training. They consistently depend on her. Her supervisors say they appreciate all of her help and input. One supervisor says, "It makes my job easier on a daily basis having Officer Mullock on my shift." Officer Mullock has shown hard work and commitment to her profession, the future of the police department, and the city of Novi. Law enforcement runs in Officer Mullock's family. Her father, Lieutenant Jack Mullock, retired from the Michigan State Police after 25 years of service. Her husband, Kevin, is a sergeant with the Novi Police Department. While Sarah is proud of her professional accomplishments, she is most proud of her family and her 2-year-old son, Colin. Officer Mullock is an 18-year decorated veteran with the Novi Police Department, earning 1 department citation, 1 life-saving award, 4 unit citations, a letter of commendation, and perfect attendance. Officer Mullock's personnel file has over 20 thank you letters from citizens and police chiefs. The common theme among the letters includes positive experience, dedicated, conscientious police officer, commitment, professionalism, and kindness. It is my honor to name Officer Sarah Mullock as the Lee C. BeGole Officer of the Year for 2021. This program could not happen without the tireless efforts on behalf of my executive team. I would like to thank Assistant Police Chief Scott Batens, Fire Chief Jeff Johnson, Assistant Fire Chief John Martin, and my entire command team. Thank you all who took time to nominate your team members for their hard work and dedication to our Novi community. Thank you. I offer a special thank you to my executive assistant, Renee Landis, for her efforts in preparing the award certificates. Thank you. In addition, I would like to thank our community relations team for their assistance in coordinating this video production and the information sharing via social media. Thank you all. I offer a heartfelt thank you to our Novi community for your sustained support for your public safety team. Thank you all, and good night.